Most any time the fighting picks up, so do the consequences. The wounded, those hurt badly enough to leave Iraq or go home, go first to the Army Medical Center in Landstuhl, Germany. As Beth Nissen reported last year, the people there do remarkable work. She paid another visit recently to see how things have changed after the bad month of April, and we promise her report later in the program tonight. First, the prison story. Today, the Pentagon reversed itself on rules that some believe laid the groundwork for the abuses at Abu Ghraib. Also today, competing stories came to light from two of the accused about who was responsible. That side of things in a moment. First, though, something perhaps a bit more tangible to ordinary Iraqis. With that part of the story, here's CNN's Ben Wiedemann.
Out of prison and on their way home. 5 buses left Abu Ghraib Friday morning, taking around 300 former detainees away from a prison that under Saddam Hussein was spoken of only in whispers. And under U.S. control has become, for many Iraqis, symbolic of an American occupation gone sour. A moment of joy for some, for others, bitter disappointment. Samih Ahmed was hoping his brother, in coalition custody for nearly a year, would be released. He wasn't. My brother has 6 small kids, says Samir. This is painful. In Baghdad, Hussein Sami and his 3 brothers return home. Months of anxiety finally over, though one of Hussein's brothers is still a prisoner. Coalition spokesmen say more than 500 prisoners will be released next Friday. And as could be expected, many of the newly released detainees claim they were abused. They stripped me, says one prisoner who didn't give his name. They beat me and sprayed cold water on me. Such claims have yet to be confirmed, but few Iraqis who have seen the images of prisoner abuse are likely to dispute them. Now, Aaron, ironically, many of those who were released today were innocent to start with, but after the experience of wrongful detention and possible abuse, they may have become bitter and potentially violent foes of the U.S.-led coalition.
How do we know they were innocent to begin with?
Well, if we look at 2 reports, basically, the Taguba report, that internal army report, said that 60% of those held in Abu Ghraib were no threat to society. And the Red Cross report that was, of course, confidential and shared with the Bush administration, coming out in February, said that anywhere between 70 and 90% of those who were held in Abu Ghraib were arrested by mistake, and none of these people have been charged. In fact, speaking with some of them, they said that they were never actually accused of anything inside the prison. So it's basically a given here in Baghdad that these people are being let go because they never should have been arrested in the first place.
Ben, thank you. Ben Wiedemann in Baghdad on a Saturday morning. For him, as we mentioned, the Pentagon did an about-face of sorts today. That's the never again part of the prison story, if you will. There were significant developments, too, on the what happened part of the story, the why and the who. One of the accused has cut a deal with prosecutors. He is talking. So, too, is the man he is talking about. Talking for us is our senior Pentagon correspondent, Jamie McIntyre.
The attorney for one of the accused ringleaders of the abuse, Specialist Charles Grainer, says this photo shows not just Grainer and 2 other military police, but also 4 enlisted men from military intelligence, along with a civilian translator. Grainer insists higher-ups were well aware of the cooperation between the prison guards and interrogators and the methods they used to soften prisoners up.
This was an interrogation center. He was being directed by military intelligence officers and others in the intel community, and he thought these were lawful orders. He had to obey those orders.
But another accused soldier, Specialist Jeremy Sivitz, who has agreed to plead guilty and testify against the other 6, says senior enlisted and officers were unaware of the mistreatment. Our command would have slammed us, Sivitz told investigators in a sworn statement. They believe in doing the right thing. If they saw what was going on, there would be hell to pay. Sivitz says it was Grainer who ordered Iraqis to strip in Arabic and force them into the pyramid of naked bodies. Sivitz's statement also details abuse that went beyond humiliation. In one case, he says Grainer punched the detainee with a closed fist so hard in the temple that the detainee was knocked unconscious. In another case, Sivit says Sergeant Javal Davis, another accused soldier, stomped on either the fingers or toes of the detainees, causing them to scream loudly. In the wake of the controversy, a number of aggressive interrogation options have been banned, including sensory deprivation, sleep adjustment, stress positions, environmental manipulation, and use of military dogs.
The top commander in Iraq, Lieutenant General Ricardo Sanchez, says he eliminated interrogation options that could have only been used with his approval, something he says he didn't do, with the exception of one technique that he's retaining and which he has approved on 25 separate occasions, and that is isolating prisoners for more than 30 days, something he's done on more than 24 occasions. Aaron?
That would be solitary confinement. On the others, does the Pentagon, well, what is the reason the Pentagon says for changing the rules?
Well, the ostensible reason, they say, is that they weren't using these options, so they've taken them off the table because they've drawn so much fire. But they also explain that a lot of these options at a low end could be fairly non-controversial. For instance, stress positions could be something as simple as telling somebody to stand at attention while you're talking to them. But you can also imagine how you could be in a very uncomfortable position for a prolonged period of time. Because of these are subject to that kind of potential abuse, they've just taken them off the table in Iraq. But they can still be used in Guantanamo.
It's an interesting but, Jamie. Thank you. Jamie McIntyre. Have a good weekend, Jamie. Thank you.